when it comes to explaining how I got OCD, I have to first explain, I'll call it the feeling. So the feeling happened when I was 14 years old, right here on this bridge, wooden bridge in trail, after a field day at my school. The 14-year anniversary of that day was a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So now I'm here filming this, which is kind of cool and kind of weird at the same time. But me and my buddy, Shahid, after field day, we decided that we wanted to smoke marijuana together and celebrate and just hang out. I haven't ever really smoked marijuana before that. I have pretended a couple times before that, but I wouldn't ever actually bring it to my lungs because I was scared of what would happen. So today, or on this day, after field day, I decided I was going to bring it to my lungs and see what would happen. So me and Shahid were sitting right here. I remember I was on the left, he was on the right. We were talking and having a blast and passing marijuana to each other. When we stood up, I remember standing up, I felt really, really weird. It was like I was out of my body, which I could interpret as being high, but at the time, it scared me. So me and Shahid went back to my house, and he hung out with me the whole time until it didn't go away. So this feeling didn't go away ever, actually. Even till this day, it's still not gone. I remember before that, I felt much different, sober, if you will. But after this day, I never felt the same. That same feeling I got of being outside of my body and just like, what, that never went away. So over the next couple weeks after that day, I was really scared. And I had told my mom how I was feeling and what had happened. And we were going to a bunch of doctor's appointments trying to see what was going on. And this went on for a long time. And my mom is a saint for trying to fix me or not fix me, but trying to find out what was going on because she tried really hard. We actually went to the hospital, the emergency room at first, and then we had so many doctor's appointments. And my mom was awesome at trying to help. But eventually the doctors couldn't find anything and I still felt the same. So I decided I was going to live with this feeling and move on and just push forward. Fast forward 14 years later, I still have this feeling. Now I haven't actually talked about OCD yet, but I have to introduce the feeling before talking about how I actually started to get OCD. Now we will move to the next spot where I will start talking about how I got OCD. I'm here at Shaker High School, which was the high school I went to after 8th grade, after I got the feeling. So after I got the feeling, I decided I was going to just move on with my life and kind of deal with what I was dealing with. I didn't know how I was going to do this, so I didn't know what to expect, obviously. But this feeling that was still going on in my head was still going on every single day. But I still had no signs of OCD or obsessing or anything yet. So freshman year started, and it became apparent that I was very fearful of marijuana because marijuana is the thing that created the feeling inside of my head. So throughout freshman year of high school, I was very scared to touch marijuana or be around marijuana or have anything to do with marijuana, which was kind of easy in the beginning because everyone was so young, no one really did stuff like that. But towards the end of freshman year is when people started to get into marijuana, and it was around more and more. So towards the end of freshman year is when, and I didn't know at the time that I was kind of being obsessive about these germs that were going on, but towards the end of freshman year is when the germs first started happening, and I was very scared of marijuana germs. This caused a lot of issues for me, a lot of washing, and a lot of illogical fear of marijuana germs. But still, I was so young and so new to what was going on that I didn't know that I was obsessing or compulsing, because I was compulsively washing things that did not need to be washed. My fear was that I would get marijuana germs on my hands or on my body, anywhere on my body, and they would somehow make it to my mouth, and they would go into my mouth, and then the feeling inside my head would get more intense, or I would get high, which I was very fearful of. So in my head, in order for me not to intensify the feeling or to get high, I had to wash all the germs off of my body and off of my hands so that they wouldn't make it to my mouth. But it was very illogical the way that I was washing. The washing of marijuana germs went on for a really, really long time. So this is when the washing and the obsessing over germs started. But still, again, at this time, I had no idea that I was having or in the beginning stages of OCD or having OCD. I'm going to go to my third place, and I'm actually going to go over the first time where I had a compulsion that I actually recognized was different, was weird, if you will. So I'm in my old bedroom that I grew up in. When I lived here in this bedroom, this was not here, and behind this is a wall, and then another wall right here. And my bed was pushed up all the way against the wall. So the very first compulsion that I remember having that didn't have to do with marijuana or marijuana germs was me and my girlfriend at the time were laying on the bed, leaning up against the wall in the back right here. And the day previous to this day, me and my boy were hanging out in here, and my boy, my friend, was also leaning up on the wall at the same exact spot. So what happened on this day, the day that I'm talking about when me and my girlfriend were in here, is my girlfriend was leaning up against the wall, and I got this overwhelming feeling that I had before with marijuana germs, but never with anything else besides the marijuana germs. It was the same pressure in my head. It was the feeling, but I was getting the feeling about something completely different than I had before. This was about germs getting on my girlfriend, but not marijuana germs, not like physical germs. These were like mental germs, but they were physical germs because mentally I thought they were real or they felt real. So my girlfriend at the time, I of course didn't want anyone else to touch her. That was like a fear of mine. And this fear has gone on for a long time with a lot of different situations. But at this time, the first time, I was fearful that my friend from the day before when he was leaning on the wall, his germs were going to get on my girlfriend at the time because she was leaning on the same spot. And I couldn't shake this feeling at the time. I felt like I had to do something about it, which today I know is a compulsion, but at the time I had no idea what was going on. So I just wanted to fix this feeling and fix this situation. So what I did was I went to the bathroom, which is right next to my room, and I got a wet washcloth and I wiped the entire wall. The whole wall, I wiped it. And right after that, the feeling and the pressure in my head went away, and it got better. I still felt odd because ever since I smoked marijuana that one day, that feeling never went away, but it always gets intense and then not intense, intense and not intense, because it's turned into obsessive compulsive disorder. So after I wiped the wall at this time, the pressure went down and the compulsion made the obsession go away for the moment. Now, obsessions with people I care about and germs and stuff like that have went on forever. Still to this day they go on. I was 15 or 16 years old, so it was a little while ago, but this was the first time where I was like, damn, that was really weird. Like, that was different. It's not like a physical germ on my hand that I want to wash off that I was doing illogically. It was a mental germ that I needed to wash off. And this was the first time it happened. And like I said, it's happened many times since then. But at the time when I was 15 or 16, I was like, damn, that was really weird. So that is the first compulsion that I remember being like, whoa, like what's going on here?